Hello and welcome to Mike's Garage. If you've already subscribed to our channel, thank you. If you haven't, please do, and when you do, be sure and tap on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we put up a new video. Well, you know, I got the knuckle back together and I promised that when I did, I would start it on the channel. And I got to be honest with you, I've already started, run a couple of heat cycles so I could retorque the heads. I'll run a couple more heat cycles and retorque those heads, and then a bunch of miles down the road I'll check them one more time. That's what I do. And it works for me. You know, the thing is, bringing the knuckle out is always fun because, you know, I can honestly say I didn't build this bike. I restored this bike. I've made some changes to it, but it wasn't built by me to begin with. It was built by a guy back in the 60s, and I think he had wonderful taste, and he did some really nice things. A few things I changed, a few things I preserved. And for anybody that's playing with some of this old stuff, maybe I can show some of it off here. Let's see, I'll walk in from this end so I don't walk in front of you, Mike. This is your typical old 60s throttle, you know, because the guys that were building bikes were throwing things away and they weren't rebuilding the throttles that went through the bars. Eventually I may put one through the bar here, but this is a 60s type throttle. And that kit right there can still be had. I believe Colony makes it. And that's the actuating this bell crank down here. Can you show that? And I'll show it working. And I've got a spring on it just as a helper. It's just a little helper because I don't like to fight throttles. There are people making these carburetor covers like this one. This one is a real Ed Roth. It says Ed Roth inside it, so that's from Big Daddy Roth himself in the old days.
Keep your pant leg from getting sucked in?
Pretty much. Pretty much. I'll tell you, if you ever ran a Linkert carburetor without one of those, without something on it, it will suck your pant leg in and it will shut the motor off. And it will give you a nice bruise as it sucks your leg in there. Okay, what else can I show? This here is something that's one of my favorite toys on this bike. This is a very expensive valve that came off of a machine that I ran in a photo lab when I was 19 years old. 19 or 20. Anyway, that's how long I had it. I threw it in the toolbox and I said, I'm going to put that on a bike someday. Well, there it is. This is someday. And I'm a little past 19 or 20. Let's see, what else did I want to show? I don't know. I've shown most of this bike. I get a lot of comments on these pipes. Most people don't realize that they are Paco Dago style pipes, but they are a modified version of such. The guy that did these cut them open on top, reshaped this into a teardrop, and re-welded it. And then chromed it. That is a real 32 Ford taillight given to me by one of my real good buddies. Inside there is a plate which shows up at night so that when you hit your brake pedal, it says stop on it. Anyway, so I don't have a lot of gas in this bike at the moment. I'm going to turn the valve on all the way, which is the only way I do it. And I'm going to make sure I've got gasoline over in this side of the tank, which is a pretty easy thing to do. You simply go like this and don't drop it. And that'll get gas over to that side of the tank, just in case there isn't enough in there to start it. The other thing is, after this bike sat so long, instead of freaking out when it wet sumps and gets oil on the floor, I put a pan underneath it. So can you see it from that side, Mike? Okay.
And that's underneath the what pipe?
Oh, it's under the breather, underneath the breather hose.
Thank you.
That's all right. Okay, so we got this turned on. And Let's see. We're going to give it a full choke.
Lost our sunlight.
Well, we lost a little sunlight. This is actually a rather breezy day today. It's overcast. It can't make up its mind whether or not it wants to rain. So we're going to get this video done, and then the bike goes back in the garage.
Tomorrow.
Sun's coming out.
We're going for a rain.
We may go for a ride today.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Anyway, so we're going to give it a full choke. And I've shown how to do this. A lot of people have shown it on the internet. Basically, what you're doing is priming it, getting gas into the manifold so that motor can just suck that gasoline in and fire right off. So with a full throttle, it's open all the way, and choking it, okay, we're going to give it a couple, 3 kicks.
No ignition.
No ignition. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we'll open the choke, turn on the ignition switch, retard the timing, and now you won't be able to hear me speak for a minute or two. So now that the choke is open, the throttle is almost, it's just open a little bit, and the timing is retarded all the way. The ignition switch is on. With a little luck, she'll start on the first kick. Okay, a lot of luck. Can you hear me? I wanted to say, have a little oil smoke off of there. I've just reassembled it. It's got to clear itself out. It hadn't even been down the street yet. I guess we can lean it out a little bit too. That's better. Now, a lot of people have seen our video on adjusting the mousetrap, and I understand that's one of our better videos. I'd like to show this mousetrap. I have not adjusted it in a long time, but let me show how nicely it works. We're going to pull a clutch. And there it is. There's nothing to it. Very, very little effort to pull it. Yet it still has full-size, big, beefy, I think there's a set of Barnett clutch springs in there that are nice, stiff springs. But this mousetrap gives you all the boost and help by going over center the way it does. So I guess we've showed as much as we need to show for now. This bike will continue to show up all the time in the videos because it ain't going anywhere without me. So what I did want to mention is, of course, our shirts. Again, it's beginning to look like a lot like it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's it. Okay. And of course, if this one looks familiar, it's probably because it's this one right here. And that, of course, is Baby Doll, the Panhead. And then those are some guy that I don't even know about. But anyway, let's see, the next event we're going to, I'm going to, I hope you're going, Mike, is the 26th of this month, I think it is Long Beach Swap Meet.
Paradise Roadshow's coming up too.
Well, the Long Beach Swap Meet is the big deal here because it's coming up on the last one of this month, which is actually the last one of this year.
Okay.
There will not be one in December. So it's really important if you want to go do your swap meet hunting. The last one will be in November. That's the one in Long Beach at the Veterans Stadium, Long Beach, California. Oh, it's a good one. It's a real good one. I have a ball there. And I'm going. So hopefully I'll see you there. And until then, I'll see you out on the road.